Good morning, Cowboy Jim up here in Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. I had an interesting conversation about a week and a half ago with God, and he kind of hinted that perhaps he was moving me on from the job that I've been doing for, well, it'll be 3 years come June. And I said, I'm not very much in favor of spending 6 months earning the respect. You earn respect. You don't necessarily deserve it, but you can earn it. And it takes effort. I said, I'm not really in a giant rush to go to work for someone else. I said, it's a lot of effort, I mean, you have to go to work every day and live what you say. Okay? It's not funny. It's not at all humorous. Anyways, he said, why don't you go to work for me? I said, you gotta be kidding. I said, between you and I was pretty sure that I had been working for you most all my life, actually. And especially in these later years, especially with the advent of my YouTube channel that God and I share. And I was surprised that he asked that question. Would I consider working for him? I thought, well, what day is payday? I didn't pose that question, okay? I'm Irish, and I have a sense of humor that only God understands, and a few people that I hang out with, and a few of my viewers as well, our viewers. The question shook me quite hard. I truly believed that I had been working for God most all my life. And I have failed. Okay. Hey, I refused to kid myself. I have failed in my effort to work for God. There's no doubt. I mean, I have. I've had my issues. They were mine. They weren't God's. And yet God has seen me through so much stuff. It's quite remarkable, actually. I said, well, I don't really know what I've been doing if I haven't been working for you anyways. Then he posed the question, who is your source? Well, the benchmark, of course, is, as I look past my Tim Hortons coffee cup, is my Bible. That's the benchmark. That's the measuring stick of where I am in God, where I am in my humanity as well. I said, when would you like me to go to work for you? He said, take the day off and start tomorrow. I said, I'm anxious to get started. I would like to get started. He said, well, then make a video. I said, okay. I hope by now you have come to the understanding that when you pray, it is you imploring God to address certain issues in your life. And not much value in imploring God, speaking to God, unless you're willing to listen after that you speak your prayer, whatever and however selfish that prayer is. But you listen. I listen. Okay. That statement that God made to me a couple of weeks ago became very, very clear on the weekend. I had gone down to Red Deer, Innisfail area to visit my son. I hardly ever get to see my youngest son, but I love that boy. And his two sons. Maybe once a year, not that often. But my oldest boy, Scott, he and his wonderful lady, Carrot Cake Ann's, woman can make carrot cake, and I know how to eat it. And thankfully, she does not make it very often, and thankfully, I don't eat it that often. Because I have a natural proclivity. I can put weight on. I was in the hospital this morning, and the lady taking all the information, she said, can you tell me how much you weigh? I said, yes, exactly. 160 pounds, 70 kg. Okay. It's actually a bit less than 160 pounds, I think. As far as I'm concerned, it is. And I went down and I watched Cole Martin, country music recording artist. I watched my grandson, Cole. Sitting at the same table, my great-grandson was also there. And his name is Townes Martin, great-grandson of old cowboy Jim. And I watched Cole sing his new release, Take My Heart. And after he was done singing, he turned to his lady who was sitting across the table from me. I was sitting right beside my big son, Scott. And Cole got down on his knee. And the place went crazy. I mean, he reached in his guitar case type thing and he pulled out an engagement ring. And Cole Martin proposed to the mother of his son, my great-grandson, Townes Martin. We are Irish, and so the cart and the horse, sometimes we get those confused as to the proper position and placement in life, right? Hey, them's the breaks. And I sat there and I watched my grandson. He sang his heart out. And it was wonderful. Oh, my goodness. And Townes was sent home for the night with my great-grandson was sent home for the night with his other grandma and grandpa. Wonderful people. We were just a family sitting there reveling in Cole Martin singing. And I mean, if you have looked Cole Martin up on anything, you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyways, they said when his performance was done, and that was the introduction to a new beer by a brewery there. Two breweries, one in Rocky Mountain House, one in Sylvan Lake. Snake Lake Brewery in Sylvan Lake. And I had told my grandson, I said, until you have your picture on a can of beer, you won't have a facial recognition by Albertans. And that's what they did. They put a full picture of my grandson on this new type of beer called Cole Martin beer. And hey, we live in this world and we are supposed to occupy until the Lord returns, but we live in this world. And after the event was done on Saturday night, my grandson said a bunch of the guys and gals want to go out to the big bar. I said, I don't know what the big bar is. And he said, it's the Silver Buckle Bar in Red Deer. And I thought about that, and I thought, I'm really tired, eh? And then I thought, I drove a long way, 7+ hours south from Fort Mac in order to spend time with my grandson. And I thought, I am going to go and spend time with my grandson. And so I said I would be glad to go out to the big bar. Cole actually had played there once. I couldn't believe that they didn't have live music. I mean, what's that about? And especially when they have such a talent as my grandson, Cole Martin. So we went out, and I just could not get over the number of people that walked up to me and said, Cowboy Jim, just love your YouTube channel. And not religious people, but people of common sense. And so we all went out to got a taxi and all that common sense stuff. And I mean, I don't blend in well, and I have never intended to either. And a lady stepped up and grabbed hold of me, and didn't we cut a rug for a short while? And I got her slowed down and explained what true dancing was all about, country, and country music is real, and dancing is real. But you have to go slow. And people don't understand. You don't want to be dancing with someone you're not madly in love with, because dancing is being intimate. We'll word this carefully. Intimate to the rhythm and the beat of the sound. And I rather enjoyed myself. I thanked the young lady and so on. And I just kind of hung out on the side and danced with a couple of more ladies and so on like that, and had fun. Went back after the evening was done, and didn't I make a mistake in that I went straight to bed, but I forgot to ask if they would turn a light on in the bathroom. Unfamiliar house, been there before, of course, but I mean, hey, I sleep in the north. I can get up and walk around in the dark in my own little apartment, no trouble, but didn't do it very successfully down there at my grandson's place. And Ryan is the name of his lady. Ryan, most unique name for a lady, and soon to be my great my great well my granddaughter, I suppose, through marriage. Let's say that. Anyways, along about 2 or 3 in the morning, I woke up having to find my way to the washroom. Well, I failed and I fell. Well, I didn't have a clue. I mean, I just fell. I knew what had happened when I landed because I've had between 60 and 70 broken bones, ribs mostly, arm, shoulders, leg, hands. Oh my, oh yeah. And it hurt. Okay. And the next morning I got up, I told Cole, I said, brother, I said, I have to head north, and that means I have to go out to my big Dodge, which is very tall, and I have to find a way to get myself up into the seat of my 01 Dodge Cummins dually with a broken shoulder. And I prayed. I mean, God and I, we talked about it all day long as I drove the 7+ hours north to Fort Mac. And I made it home on Sunday night and slept all day Monday. And today I thought, I have got to go and get x-rays on my shoulder. And I did. And it is broken. And that means that I'm going to have to take a couple of weeks off work, and probably I'll be off work for a month. And I am not lacking in being thoughtful, especially when it comes time when I reverentially listen to God respectfully. Boy, let me tell you. And he had asked the question of me, would you be willing to work for me? And I said, I really thought I had been working for you. This is kind of an open-ended statement. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I'll be 75 come October, 21st of October. And anyways, I went this morning to have these x-rays. I had a friend come and pick me up at about 6:30 in the morning, and he was so gracious and so kind, and he took me to the hospital. He said, I'm just going to drop you off, and then I'm leaving. And then he says, no, I'll drop you off, and I'm waiting until we get figured out what's wrong. And I kind of wondered if I wouldn't have to have another surgery. That would have been 16 surgeries I've had thus far that required anesthetic. And the doctor, he didn't bother prescribing anything for pain because I wouldn't have filled it out anyways. And I'm somewhat, shall we say, a bit determined in all that I do. Anyways, the edge, there's a slice off my left shoulder. It's kind of like the bone that comes up and forms a really good-sized knob up there. It just sheared off. About a fifth of it broke off. And he said, we don't need to do surgery on this at all. I said, I kind of appreciate that. Surgeries actually hurt, and I mean, I have some experience with that. And he said, yeah, you just put your arm in a sling and you take a couple of sets off. That's starting tomorrow. I was supposed to go to work. So that's 7 days. then 7 days off and 7 nights, and then I'm clear to go back to work. And it is my most sincere prayer that God implements a healing that will allow me to work without being in agony. I mean, serious pain, okay? And I'm sure He will. He loves me. God, actually, it's so funny. God actually knows who I am. And He, God, actually loves me, in spite of the fact that He knows me, and I know myself. Okay? So, starting tomorrow, I am officially going to work for God, which I thought I'd been doing all along. But it could be that He is just saying that instead of me going to work and really working, that he may well undertake to provide for me. He's always undertaken to provide for me the strength to work and all those things, and I've done it. I mean, He and I, we work together for the glory of the sacrifice of His Son, Jesus, on the cross. And I am impressed with God and Jesus, who suffered, bled, and died on the cross for my sins. Yours, if you so choose. If you don't, you don't. It's simple. I have said, I'm going to wrap this up here. I have said, you're going to live until you die, and only you can determine where you spend eternity. So, I had fun. I mean, I really did. It was really fun. The number of people who watch Cowboy Jim YouTube, it is flat out amazing. And in the hospital this morning, I trying to, suffer through, nothing for pain, to get ready to do the x-rays and so on. And people looking at me from across the emergency here in Fort Mac and staring and smiling. And I thought, I'm kind of glad that I'm in a hospital that have people who work here who are attentive enough to God that they recognize that even though God says, I haven't really been working full time for Him, I have been working, taking a shot at it. And they would smile at me. And they wouldn't quit smiling. And then you would see a little cluster of ladies across the room, and they're like the one group, there was only two, but they took time to stare at me. Well, as I have said in the past, I don't blend in. Not well at all. I don't care to. And so I got my x-rays, and I studied the x-rays because I read x-rays. I've had so many of them. And the x-ray tech, such a good guy. Let me tell you, when you cough, who knew that your shoulder would hurt as a reflection of that compression, that change of pressure in the body? It hurts. And so I had a good time in the South, a good time at the hospital, had the x-rays. Thank God I didn't need another surgery. I mean, I'm so used to telling people I've had 15 surgeries that To say 16 would probably catch me off guard too much. So, God bless you. You and only you will determine where you spend eternity. And we just got a jump start on what God's going to do in the next month. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, after all, I thought I was already working for him. Apparently, that's going to change a little. I don't know how that's going to change a little. Perhaps after a month of videos, Lord willing, every day, I hope. Who knows? I don't have a clue. Except I know that God loves you. And I know that you are watching our YouTube videos for a reason. I would like you to give some serious consideration to what do you believe? In God, in his son Jesus. Are you going to spend eternity in heaven, or are you going straight to hell upon dying? It's your choice. No one can choose for you. It's your choice. Well, God bless. And I got this first video off my back because I really wanted to make those, and I'm glad I did. And I hope that you will find some benefit to the videos that God and I put forward. God bless you. Y'all take care. And hey, my shoulder hurts, but it doesn't quite hurt as badly as it did this morning. That's a good thing, okay? It's a good thing. Okay, God bless you. I'm going to shut this off. Y'all take care, and talk to you tomorrow. Unless God does something this afternoon, but I think tomorrow. Okay, God bless. Y'all take care now. Remember, God loves you. Jesus suffered, bled, and died for you. What are you going to do with a God and his Son, the Creator in Jesus? It's a good question. Only you can answer it. God bless. Thank you.